So here's the problem. Years ago, life insurance professionals would receive in-depth sales training, not only showing different life insurance products and how they work, but the advanced planning concepts that bring in the 5, 6, and 7-figure commission checks. Fast forward to today, and those types of training programs are almost non-existent. To solve the problem of inefficient marketing efforts and advisors stumbling around trying to understand how to do business in the advanced markets, Trained Advisor leads the way in showing top-level producers how to acquire, identify, present, and close advanced life insurance cases. Welcome to the weekly 10-minute concept training with Trained Advisor. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tyson with Trained Advisor. First off, I want to say thank you for joining me on this training. I know you're extremely busy, so it does mean a lot that you're taking time out of your day to be here. So over the last several weeks, we've talked about the business prenup, buy-sell agreements, what they are, what businesses to target. So with Trained Advisor, our goal is to help you acquire, identify, present, and close more life insurance business. Now, over the last several weeks, we covered really the last 3 steps, the identify, present, and close steps. And now we're going to shift gears and talk about the acquisition phase, which really is my favorite part, the marketing of it. So I'm going to show you an actual campaign that we ran. But before we get into that, I want you to understand what's called the customer value journey. Now, this is digital marketing 101. It's some of the fundamentals that if you can understand this, it'll help you see success no matter which tool or what kind of marketing campaign you want to run. So the way that it used to work was when somebody wanted to buy a product or a service is that they would discover that product or service. They would do some research, they would buy it, and then they would actually use it, right? So the way that technology has changed, it's really changed the digital or the customer journey that somebody goes down before they make the purchase. Now, on average, this is regardless of industry, regardless of product, regardless of service. On average, it takes somebody about 22 days from the time they start thinking about buying a product or service to the time that they actually make that purchase, 22 days. But inside of there, it takes about 32 touch points for them to make that buying decision, okay? Now, a touch point can be an email, seeing an ad, talking to somebody, a text. There's a number of different things that can be a touch point that really, once they're added up together, bring somebody to the point where they actually make that purchase. Now, one thing I want you to remember also is that when somebody has a product or a service, especially in the marketing world, a lot of times they'll hear, email marketing is dead, or direct mail is dead, or LinkedIn is dead, Facebook ads are dead, webinars are dead. Well, I want you to understand that none of that is actually dead, okay? It all still works, but what has changed is the attention of the market. So usually when you hear somebody say, email marketing is dead, or Facebook ads are dead, their next sentence will be pitching their product or service against whatever they said is dead. But really, all these tools are still applicable, and you just want to get as much out there as possible. So me personally, I like focusing on LinkedIn, sales funnels, and email marketing. But don't discount Facebook ads, or don't discount Google ads. There's direct mail is still really good. There are a lot of things that still work, but I want you to remember that you just want to get out as much as possible based on how much time and money you can invest into the overall marketing campaigns. So with the campaign that we ran for Rick, we used LinkedIn, a sales funnel, and email. Those are the 3 major components of the tools that we used to drive traffic and see success with this, okay? So with LinkedIn specifically, this is the traffic generator, right? This is how we get attention. There's a formula that we use to see success on LinkedIn. It's C plus P plus M equals LinkedIn success. Now, C stands for connections, P stands for posting, M stands for messaging. If you can do connections, posting, and messaging, you will see success on LinkedIn, especially if you're consistent with it, okay? So with this campaign for Rick, we focused a lot on the actual posting. We really didn't do much on the messaging side. Connections did play a role, but really it was the posting that I want to draw attention to. So this is the post that Rick put out there, okay? So Rick had a website, but he rarely, if ever, used social media. He had it, but this is actually one of the first posts that he even put out there. So what we did with him to see success was, first off, we created a very simple buy-sell funnel. It was just a couple of landing pages put together that help with the education and indoctrination series. And that's a place that we can drive people off of LinkedIn to our digital environment. Very important step. So with LinkedIn specifically, we identified and connected with his target audience, which at this point was business owners. And then we put out a single post on LinkedIn. And off of this single post, we were able to generate 7 leads for Rick. Now, it doesn't always happen this fast, okay? I want you to understand that consistency does play a huge role. But with this specific campaign, it was one post that generated 7 leads, okay? Now, I know you're probably thinking, but Tyson, I've posted on LinkedIn before, and I didn't get anything out of it. What I want you to pay attention to is how our post was structured. So this is something that we've covered in previous trainings. It's part of that 7-point pre-post checklist that we use. But we had an image to draw attention or to grab attention. The first thing that you need to do with your posting is you got to get somebody to stop scrolling, okay? You're battling with a bunch of different other accounts out there and posts out there. So the first thing you have to do is you have to get them to stop scrolling. Now, the second thing we do is in the text, once we got them to stop scrolling, is we have an attention-grabbing question, something that gets them to start thinking, okay? We have a compelling story that brings emotions out, because remember, people buy based on emotions, not on logic. They'll justify their purchase with logic, but they buy based on emotion. And then we have links in there that allow prospects to engage, that drive them over to our sales funnel. And those links were trackable, so we could see how many people were actually clicking on the link to go over to that sales funnel. We had about 12 people click on the link, and 7 of them actually converted over into giving us their information, okay? So this is the top of the sales funnel, or the landing page that we sent them to. And I'm going to show you this video in just a minute. But in here, we're offering them a checklist that shows what a business prenup is, why they need it, what it should include, and how it protects their financial future. That is what's called a lead magnet. We've talked about that before as well. But that's what we're offering them in exchange for their information. Now, this is the rest of the landing page. It's all one landing page. I just broke it up for the presentation. But all this does is just it's text and stuff that supports our overall message of, hey, you need this checklist. Okay, you get, put in your information, get this checklist, so that you can see why you need a business prenup. So I'm going to show you the video that we used. If you're a member of the Trend Advisor Vault, this is going to look familiar. This is the same video that we have inside of there for you to download and use however you want. So we're going to watch that. It's going to be probably a little bit, it's not going to be as smooth because of how we put it into the PowerPoint. But when you download it and you use it, it runs smooth all the way through. Going into a marriage, if you knew for a fact that at some point in time you would end up divorced, how would you structure your finances? What protections would you put in place? Now, it may be a long marriage, it could be a short marriage, but at some point you knew it would end. Your first thoughts may have something to do with a prenuptial agreement, right? Now take that same line of thinking to business owners. At some point, the business will transition, whether it is due to death, disability, retirement, a sale, or some other reason. The business will have to go through some type of ownership transition. Business partners leave, businesses are sold, life happens. Without a properly structured buy-sell agreement, business owners may end up facing expensive consequences, such as selling their business for much less than it's worth, partnering up with a deceased partner's spouse, or even paying a salary to partners who are no longer contributing to the business. Fortunately, these problems can be minimized or even eliminated with the proper planning. In a marriage, finances and financial positions can be substantially protected through a prenuptial agreement. In a business, it's called a buy-sell agreement. Buy-sell agreements do 4 things. They restrict the transfer of ownership to the terms of the agreement. They trigger the transfer of ownership how the owners want it to. They define the method to value the company. And they define how the buyer pays the seller for the interest in the company. To learn more about the different types of buy-sell agreements and how to implement them effectively, contact the advisor who referred you to this video. All right, so that video was only about 95 seconds long, but I really like using video to relay information because it's a source that people like to learn from. It's very popular today. People get a lot out of videos, and you can pack a lot in there, okay? So again, the whole point of this was to get them to put in their information so that we can give them this checklist, right? So once they put in their information, are we done? No, obviously not, right? We still have to get as many touch points in as possible. People most likely won't buy or meet with us or take the next steps just based off of a video that they saw online or a post that they saw online. Remember, 32 touch points on average before somebody will make a buying decision. So what I like to do is I like to incorporate email into the campaign as a follow-up series. So once I have their email information, I can keep sending them valuable information. I can keep enticing them and indoctrinating them and saying, hey, you really need a business prenup. This is something that's important to you. So we have those emails going out there to keep them educated. Once you get further down in the process, there's other things you can do with retargeting, like on LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, a lot of different things. But email to me is very straightforward. It doesn't take a lot of technical knowledge to be able to set up email campaigns. Now, remember, you're not blasting these people with information. One thing I want you to remember is that when you're communicating with people in the digital world, you're communicating with people. A lot of times we try to put too much information out there, or we blast people with a fire hose. But remember, these are real people with real needs that you can solve with the products and services that you offer. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at tyson@trendadvisor.com. Also, make sure we're connected on LinkedIn. I post a lot of tips on there as well. If you're interested in buying one of and getting one of these sales funnels or implementing one of these campaigns, feel free to reach out and we can help you out with this. Hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk to you guys soon. Hey, that was some pretty good stuff, right? Do you want to take a deeper dive into how we're leveraging social media to increase the efficiency of marketing efforts for life insurance advisors? We've been working hard behind the scenes to put together a training that gives a closer look at both the tools and strategies we're using every single day. Go to linktoelite.com and get registered so you can be the first to know once that training goes live. Again, that's linked, the number 2, elite.com.